Okay. Too much talking.
That's nice.
Can we turn off our mic? Has your
No.
mic been off this whole time?
Yeah.
Yes.
It has
Yeah.
been off?
Yeah.
Good, good. Because, yeah, this is very distracting. We can't have a show. That was the
I'm not
plan.
going to be... I don't take direction from John.
That was the plan.
John has lots of plans. It's really interesting.
You know what's interesting is I was called for jury duty this week,
You were?
and yet I'm here.
Haha. So you're on our jury instead.
Yeah.
Hey.
Were you actually? Did you actually have to attend, or are you doing the whole calling thing?
I was able
Well, you're
to
done
be
because the
just-
courts are closed tomorrow.
Exactly.
Yeah. You're lucky, man.
Yeah.
Hey, Larry Gowan, who was a huge pop star in Canada in the 80s and 90s,
What does that even mean?
You might have dropped the
a
mic.
musician.
I know,
sorry.
but huge pop star in Canada. I mean, that's
Is
like
your mic on?
he was big in Kansas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is
So,
it- can they hear me?
well, no,
Because you're
because
facing away from
then
it.
he
Oh,
yeah.
replaced
Can they hear me
Dennis
now?
DeYoung in Styx
He says,
in
"Can you hear me
96.
now?"
So now
Hello?
he's in Styx. He agreed to
My
be on the show.
mic picking me
Wow.
We're going to have like a real major star.
Anybody
So
We
hear
already
me?
had a real major star. We had that other
Not
guy.
really.
the
No,
guy from
nothing?
Whitesnake.
Yeah, that guy.
Now we're having the
If I
guy
speak
from
louder,
Styx
can you hear me?
slash the
Wow.
guy on his own.
We're working our way through bands from when we were 14.
There's nothing.
Yeah, so he's going to be on
Hi.
the show next time he's in town. It's going to
Hello.
be
Could
great.
you get maybe
Anybody?
the guys from ABBA or Billy
Am I
Joel to show up?
Talking
The
to
floor
myself.
director, Rusty, he was
Anybody?
the drummer for Eddie Money, is what I understand, right?
Who's shutting up?
I got to say
Hello.
drummer for Eddie
No, you can
Money.
shut up now.
Oh,
Give me
okay.
Also-
2 tickets to
I'm good at
Paradise.
that.
Yeah.
I forgot. I'm the only
Pack
one
your
with an
bags, we'll
earpiece.
leave tonight.
it.
Okay.
Okay,
Look, it's time to go back.
ready? Are we getting a signal?
I'm going to assume so. Yeah, I think there's pointing.
And we're back! And we're here to take your tweets. Did we get any tweets? While
We did. Not only did I tweet you, someone you sleep with tweeted you.
That's inappropriate.
Nice.
So,
In
Sorry.
a nice way.
I want answer. For which state is the goldfinch the state bird? Do you know?
Kansas.
Kansas is what I'm being told.
Jayhawk.
What?
The Jayhawk for Kansas.
Oh, well then.
Yeah,
who's
the golden
goldfinch?
jayhawk.
Is that a goldfinch on the lower branch of Kenny's painting?
I'm
I
gonna
have
get-
no idea what these birds are. There's a yellow one and a red and green one.
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'm going to say Kenny's not the best artist. I mean, I'm sure they look great on TV, but up close, that bottom bird looks kind of fat.
They're fat birds. They came from like maybe New York, where they have lots of like pretzels and hot dog buns on the ground, and they're always eating. Staten F wants a headshot. That's you.
That's me.
I'll get you a headshot later.
Yeah, I've already gotten a headshot, apparently.
You have?
Yeah, they shot me in the head with
We'd
a
like
Nerf
to
gun.
shoot you in the head.
Okay. So that's all our tweets. We just got the 3 tweets tonight. Oh well.
It's almost like we're not huge on the internet. Like we thought.
So our next topic: Occupy Wall Street. Wow, that sounded scary and foreboding.
No, not really.
It's like
guess-
Lord of the Rings music.
Wall Street is like falling apart, I guess. From that music, I
I
thought
just mentioned
you'd be
it
scared.
seemed to go on and on and on forever.
Oh yeah, it was a
Sense.
It's one of our longer topic introduction songs, but that's okay.
It's fine.
Yeah. Okay, Occupy Wall Street.
Yes, I have a strange sense of deja vu.
You do.
Yes.
We tried to mention this last month,
That's why.
and we had very little time.
No, yes.
Now we have little time, but not as little.
Not as little.
This started out as a protest, it sounds to me, and then it turned into a movement. Is that fair to
Possibly.
say?
That would be one way to put it. I mean,
How
it started with like camping.
Camping? Okay.
Yeah, it was like, let's go camp in the park.
Right.
And be angry at Wall Street because they're greedy and executives and they take all the money.
Uh-huh.
And now it's still that.
So there's a lot of people,
There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and thousands of people.
thousands, because that park isn't really
not
huge
big.
enough to
No, it's
hold
not big.
thousands.
Well,
Are they
they're tight.
Sticking
They're tight.
to the park and just the park
Mostly.
and nothing but the park?
They're friendly.
They're not going up and down the streets going.
They are, well, during the day.
What do we want? Something. What do we want? It now?
Change. We want change.
They want change. So yeah, what do they? Tell me what they want.
They want change.
Beyond change. Can you be more specific? What do they want to change?
Quarters, dimes,
I don't
and
think they
nickels?
have. The issue is that there's no central authority.
Personally, I'd
Which
be
is
chanting
both
I
good
want
and bad.
bills, but
I heard
that's,
it's started by ad busters. Is that something you know about?
It's hard to say who started it. There were various people that have proposed that, we should get out there and occupy Wall Street and be angry at the bankers.
Right.
And at the Wall Street
Of
people that ruined our
course.
economy and drove the unemployment rate up and took all of our money.
And so they're angry about many things, but how do they? What do they want to change beyond like Wall Street not having so much money and people getting richer?
I think a large proportion of them would prefer higher taxes on the better off people.
Okay.
They talk about the 99% and the 1%, where 99% of the population
sorry.
is nowhere near as well off as that last 1%.
Right. Is it true that the
And-
1% has 99% of the wealth, or is it
No,
not quite
it's not quite that high.
not quite that bad?
I think it's the.
Top 20 have 80%.
I'm pretty sure the top 20 have 80%, and it kind of scales, and it depends on how you count things. But over the past 25 years or so, if you're in the upper couple percentage of wealthy people in the country, your income has gone up by 300%. If you're in kind of the middle, around 50% of the income, your income has maybe gone up by 40% over 30 years. And if you're in like the lower 20%, your income's actually down compared to what you would have been making 30 years ago.
Really? Wow.
So the poor are getting poorer, middle class aren't really getting much better, and the high end is just, accelerating how quickly they pull away from everyone
What's
else.
causing the top 1% to get richer? Is it because their taxes are falling?
Well, their
or-
taxes are falling. I mean, they've upper income brackets have been taxed at the lowest rates they've ever been taxed at in the country since they
I
imposed
think
the
in
income tax.
1970 it was like 90% at the highest level, the income tax rate? At some point it was 90%.
There were some times in the 60s that the progressive income tax, the highest tax bracket was 90%. I mean, they weren't really ever paying 90% of their whole income.
Right.
They were paying 90% of their income above a certain amount.
So they were demotified.
Well, it's hard to
Motivated
say. I mean,
to
when you're
earn more
making
than,
$10 million a year,
See, you can misspell
you might
things
still
even
be
if you
willing
speak.
to put more work in to make another million, even if you pay taxes on, pay a high rate of taxes on that $1 million.
So then after we had the start of the protests in
Yes.
New York at Wall Street, sprouting up around the country were many of these other Occupy
It's a great
protests.
concept. I mean, you can easily franchise the whole idea. You just take the word occupy
And add a different
and
name
then
on
you
the
put
end.
the name of a place nearby after you, and then you don't have to go to New York to protest. So, we had Occupy San Francisco, we have Occupy Oakland currently going on, we have Occupy San Jose, which is a
We do?
small handful of people. Well, it's not many,
Where's
but
that
yeah,
Downtown
it's
somewhere?
downtown City
Okay.
Hall Plaza.
Occupy
I haven't
Berkeley?
heard of Occupy Mountain View, but who knows? It's possible.
Very small branch.
It's very small.
Are they peaceful protesters?
For the most part, they're peaceful.
So they're
There have been skirmishes with the police. In Oakland a week or two ago, there was a
I'm just trying to
veteran of
work
the
out.
Iraq War that was severely injured
right.
when the
I-
police decided to
I'm
shoot
ready to snore.
tear gas into it.
Really, I'm just like
And I'm
So-
told that today that someone was shot and killed at Occupy Oakland, or near Occupy Oakland. Wow, that's creepy.
Wow,
Hey!
that's production values, man.
That's
that was a shot heard
But
around
Oakland
the world.
commonly has shootings all the time.
it does. So
you-
it's hard.
we
It could
can't
just
blame
be
this on
entirely
the Occupy.
coincidental.
Right. As I like to call it, it's a stabby neighborhood.
It's a stabby neighborhood.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes. Now the Constitution guarantees the right to assemble, correct?
And yes, and to petition your law, your
Are there restrictions
Congress.
on right to assemble? Like, can a big group just sit in the middle
there
of
are
downtown?
restrictions. I mean, municipalities can require permits on a content neutral.
Could the permit
way.
be denied?
It can.
So wouldn't that be a
Frequently
violation of
is.
freedom to assemble? If permits denied?
Permits can't be unreasonably denied. They can't be infinitely denied, but they can be denied.
Okay. So what if you and I wanted to occupy Cupertino? Now, do you need a certain number of people before you need a permit?
You probably do, but there's also like no camping out on city property,
Okay.
which is how they really get you.
So if we assemble, we can't camp. We have to go home. We can't stay there.
We can't stay
We don't
there.
have to go home, but we can't stay there.
No, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay there. Get it right.
Yeah, yeah.
Duh. You could. I mean, cardboard box can be home.
So this is looked at as the counterpart to the Tea Party movement. Is that
A lot of
fair
people
thing
have
to say?
said that. I mean, weirdly, a lot of the things that Tea Party's upset about are similar things that the Occupy movement's upset about. You know,
But just total
Tea Party's just like, oh, I can't believe we did that TARP thing and gave those banks that money, and the Occupy people are like, we're really upset you gave those banks that money, but the two groups hate each other. Like the Tea Party people are like, oh, those Occupy hoodlums.
So Tea Partiers want lower taxes, whereas the Occupies want higher taxes?
Probably on the on the
Different
wealthy.
groups,
different
right?
groups.
Just on the rich. And maybe higher middle class.
Yeah.
Okay.
You and me, we'd be paying higher taxes.
Yes, which I am happy to do for the good of my nation. So this has been going on now for a while, right? When did it start?
Like middle of September was
September.
Occupy Wall Street.
So October, November. So we're hitting like 2 months
2.5
now.
months, yeah, and it's getting cold in New York.
Yeah, you got to be dedicated. I mean,
gotta be dedicated
pretty
to
soon
camp
there'll just
out.
be Occupy Miami. And it'll be
Occupy
Occupy
Miami.
LA,
Fort
in
Lauderdale.
Phoenix,
Occupy Fort Lauderdale.
Occupy Death Valley.
Occupy Palm Springs.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's an Occupy Palm Springs. I mean, what would they be upset about?
It's all retirees there, right?
Golf course prices are
I don't
too
think-
high.
I think the Palm Springs one will start at like 6 a.m. in the morning and like
It'd be
stop
done
at 3
by
p.m.
like 10, more like 10 a.m. because
Oh, you
it
think
gets
so?
hot in the middle of the day.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Is any change coming out of this yet?
No, not a darn bit.
Not a darn bit.
No, not really.
But are politicians taking heed?
Police are getting a lot of swinging at protesters practice. So that's something.
Police are beating the protesters?
Well, they have been.
Three
That's
people
not
have
good,
died.
right?
Were they in the audience?
No, it's not
with boredom?
good, but I mean, they've
They
got
died
to
of
practice
boredom.
sometime.
Yeah.
And apparently they're using this as the
One
opportunity.
person committed suicide of boredom?
All right. So we need to wrap up now.
Yeah?
So our next show is going to be on December 8th.
45 seconds. Shoot.
Yeah?
And so I'd like to thank Casey for coming on the show. I regret that I brought on Rachel.
No, you're
Rachel.
not the only one.
My friend Maureen, who's portraying
Hey, 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 hey,
Rachel.
hey, 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 hey.
You're in the credits. Your name's
I
going to go
don't
by.
care. I don't
Okay.
care. You don't need to say it.
So we'll see you
Keep your thoughts to yourself.
next month.
That's what I've been saying the
In
entire
December.
time.
And so take us away, Casey.
No, don't sing. Thank God. Shoot it. Shoot them both as much as possible. I'm really kind of sad that we're not getting the shots, the Nerf things going through the two who are supposed to be frozen.
You should tickle John.
I have to bend now.
I tried to.
All right, wait.